names is like an array, right?
Yeah. So what is the static function used for?
Static function?
Yeah.
Do you mean like in the sense of like a pure function?
Remember, a static belongs to the class, not belongs to the object.
Oh.
Like example, in your study class, the class monitor or projector of a particular classroom belongs to the class. It is shared by all the objects.
So the so a static function,
like a utility function.
okay.
In the utility function, it doesn't any person can call it and get the value out of it, but it doesn't belong to anybody. Like example, I can say string length.
Okay.
So you give any string, it will tell you the length. It doesn't care about who is using it. Are you with me?
Yeah. So that's what static is in essence.
Static, yeah.
Okay.
I gave you an example. So calculate the area of a circle. Pi r square. So what time do you guys break for lunch?
Usually it's 12.
Okay.
Now.
It will be like 20 minutes from now, correct? No?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
So hold on. With the static, if I remove the static keyword, would I not be able to access it?
No, you can still access it. Hold on 1 second. The understanding the concept behind that is important. 1 second. So let's assume that you have an employee object. Correct? No.
Okay.
How many in your project? How many employees are there?
Like, are you asking in my company?
Yeah. In your team.
Oh, in my team, there's like 23 people.
Okay. Now, is all of your salaries are same?
I don't think so.
Good. But do you all go to the same department, same location to get your badge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys all have the same HR person to contact? Let's assume you want to know whether when is the lockdown getting over. So you are going to contact the HR person. Is HR person leveraged by all the employees? All the 23 employees, same HR person?
Yeah.
So this HR person, is it associated with any object?
I would say
it is used by every object, but not associated with it.
Okay.
But your salary is associated with your corporate ID, isn't it?
Yes.
But it is not shared by everybody.
Okay.
Not leveraged by everybody. It is used only by you. So it belongs only to your object, not shared by anybody. Let's assume that you guys all leverage some cab service. For all 23 employees, there is one cab or a big bus. Now all 23 employees use that bus. Correct, no? For going home.
Yeah.
But it is not associated with any object, but it is used by everybody.
I see.
That is called static. Static means it is used or shared by every employee object, sorry, all employee objects, but it is not associated with any employee object as such. It is used but not linked directly.
Yeah.
Getting the point? That is where you use static. So,
That makes sense.
like a string length function I mentioned.
Yeah.
Let's assume that I have a function which calculates the square root.
Okay.
I give any number, it will multiply by itself and return the answer. Correct? No?
The square root.
Sorry, square of a number.
Okay.
So I can give any number, it will say multiply by itself and it will give you the return result.
Mhm.
So it can be a static function.
I see.
So generally utility, we call that as a utility functions.
Yeah. These like little concepts. Like
Yeah.
I struggle to remember them.
No problem. I mean, static is such a generic concept. It's like, remember, like it is similar to like a projector in a classroom.
Yeah, I get that example.
It's an example. Because it is used by all the employees, but it is not associated with any employees.
And also like the static calculate area. Every circle is going to use the same.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like example, even the chair belongs to the classroom. It is used by employees for sitting for a couple of hours and then next employee comes and sits and learns something and goes from the classroom. So it is used by all the employees, but it is not used by all the students, but not associated with any students.
Okay. So here's a question.
Yeah.
In the earlier examples, we had a employee class,
Correct.
and for like the display name function, would
Correct.
that be static?
Hold on one second. So display name is just a generic thing which prints the attributes of the employee object.
Yeah.
Okay. So generally it is belongs to the members of the class.
Okay, so it is associated.
So it's not okay. Let me put it that way. It doesn't make sense to be a utility function because it doesn't have any. It doesn't do anything specific. It just displays the properties. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So it belongs to the class, but it still doesn't have any property of its own. Let's assume that you have an employee class and you are computing the bonus of an employee.
Yeah, I see.
So there you are going to say, okay, I am going to compute the bonus. I will say this dot salary plus percentage of the hike in the year
Yeah.
depends on the company's profit and contribution and so on. So there you will look at all the attributes and compute the value and so on. So it belongs to the class generally, but you just display certain values only. Remember, object has the value. The function is just a function which either prints or maybe does some work. That's it. But it doesn't have any identity of its own.
So the way to think of it is that the display name depends on the arguments of the.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you observe the member functions, like example, this dot ID, this dot name, this dot first name, last name, this dot employee code, those are the ones which has value. The functions by itself doesn't have any value.
Mm-hmm.
Except it defines the scope though. That's it. Like whether you have a public function, private function, whether you want to print something, you don't want to print something, it's all up to you. But function generally does is it does some operation, whether the operation can be send the data to the console or send the data to a printer or send the data to the screen, doesn't matter.
Okay.
It just does some work, that's it. You give some data, it will throw the data to the certain area, like maybe to the printer.
Okay, that was good to understand.
Okay, so pretty much I think on the TypeScript side, but did we cover everything? I'm just checking. So template literals, okay. Let me see template literals. I might have captured that already. Okay, this is a good example of a spread operator.
Did you send it?
Yeah, sending in the chats. The main objective of a spread operator is to spread the elements of an array or object.
Let's see here.
So this is like merging the operators.
Okay.
I'm just sending in the chat.
So if you're merging two objects, you know what? This is I used to use Redux,
Oh yeah.
and then because like the states is like immutable, I had to do a lot of spread operators.
Correct.
But it gets kind of hard to read though.
uh, See, these are basic concepts available. Generally, we use once in a while. Okay, it's not like every function what we write, we really want to be using all of this. Certain use cases we use it very rarely, but just being aware of it is a positive thing.
So in the last example you sent with the two objects, there are two properties called C that conflict.
Conflict, like basically it's like a key value pair.
Yeah, but notice how both objects have a C property, a C key, I guess.
Oh, basically you're merging them together.
So why does it get over? Why does the 0 in foo get overwritten to 1?
Okay, so basically, like, how do I say that? Hold on one second. How do I put it across? So you are basically, when you are merging certain, okay, hold on. See, it is not that you are merging the array. It's more like you are merging key value pairs.
Yeah.
So when you are merging the key value pairs, if the one which overwrites the other property in case if that property doesn't exist, or if the property's value is null or something like that. Means when it's like, how do I say, overlapping. Overlapping would be the right word. Let me find another example of explaining it better. Hold on one second.
Okay.
How do I say that? Hold on one second. Might have to find a better examples. Okay, this is one such example. Initialize from another object. Okay. Right now we are exploring the spread operator, right? Which was the example we are exploring the spread operator, but here the example is around using the like, how do I say, merging more like a key value pair kind of thing. Hold on. How do I explain that? So see, generally, like the most important thing is the spread operator will help you like retrieve all the elements basically or spread it out basically. Like example, merging an array of two functions kind of thing. Like example, I'll give you one more example. Basically, the spread operator I'm talking about. Okay, I'm sending it in the chat here. So let's assume that I am using a spread operator to print the contents of the array. Okay, are you with me on that? So,
Yep.
so basically, if you observe it, just the spread operator helps you in, how do I say, printing the contents or retrieving the contents with variable number of arguments. Is that correct?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. But the only difference is that when you are having like a key value pair kind of thing and when you are overlapping with each other,
Yeah.
there it will tend to override, like say for example in a matrix form kind of thing. So
Okay.
like in the matrix, like two-dimensional matrix or two-dimensional array, when you try to merge them together or overlap with each other, it tends to override the previous argument. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
I should find a good example of a merge up a spread operator working on arrays or two-dimensional arrays.
Okay. That's pretty straightforward then. So the latest element gets overwritten.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is one thing. And rest operator we covered. Destructuring. Destructuring, I gave an example around that. So destructuring is more like the motivation is to simply make it easy to capture the remaining elements of an array when restructuring. Okay, like example, like so certain times when you are you have worked on databases.
Yeah.
So if you are combining two data sets, like I would like to continue from where I was left off, kind of thing. What would be a good example of that in the databases where you retrieve the retrieve, like say for example, the second highest salary,
Okay.
or maybe like the, try to join the two tables where the customer, the supplier is located in the same city as the customer, or find the customers who have placed an order greater than 2.
Okay.
So there, if you observe, like you are going to retrieve like a set of data, and then you apply additional set of data from the point where you left off. Like you can say maybe union. There was one more like a pivot. You might have heard of something called pivot in SQL.
Feed boarding SQL.
Pivot.
I have not. No.
Okay. Hold on once again. Maybe a little bit around that advanced concepts of here observe that there is something called pivot in SQL. So you are extracting the data and converting the data from, like say, maybe rows into columns. So you convert the same data into one form to another form, kind of thing. Okay, that's what one of the way. So similar to the same thing, you kind of in the spread operator, like example, I am having x and y and then merging the two, but you are actually not merging. You are taking the first two arguments from the first array and the remaining arguments from the last array. You are actually ignoring the, how do I say, the first two set. 1, 2, you took it from the first elements, x and y, and the remaining is from the 3 and 4 from the point where you were left off.
Okay. Okay. So
I call it like a destructuring. Just be aware that it is available. Like let's assume that I would like to retrieve the contents of the first two elements and then remaining elements to be merged by some other element. Let's assume another way, retrieve all the high quality or top salary employee from every department, one person from every department.
I see. That makes sense.
Just an example available. So you just leverage when your use case needs it.